Hello everybody, my name is George Williams. I'm the Next Search Catalog Coordinator at Northeast Kansas Library. And today I'm going to talk about borrower notes and borrower messages in Next Search Catalog. Borrower notes and borrower messages sounds similar. The names sound similar. They are similar, but they are not the same thing. If you're talking about borrower notes, you're talking about one thing. If you're talking about borrower messages, you're talking about something else. And so I'm going to do a quick overview here to show you what they are, how to use them, how they're different, and how they look to patrons in Next Search Catalog. So first off, a quick overview. Notes are part of a borrower's account. It's actually data that's stored in the borrower's account. And because of this, they can be created, edited, and deleted by any staff member at any library. Borrower notes can be circulation notes, which are visible only to staff, or they can be OPAC notes, which are primarily visible to the patron, and they're only a teeny tiny bit visible to staff. Borrower messages are different because they are not part of the borrower account. They are stored in a separate table in the database. And because of this, they include information about who created them, when they were created, and which library created the message. Like borrower notes, borrower messages can be internal messages, which are visible to staff only, or they can be OPAC messages, which are visible to the borrower in the OPAC and clearly visible to staff in the staff interface. And the big difference is going to be that borrower messages cannot be edited. Once a borrower message is created, the text of that message is unchangeable. Borrower messages can be deleted, but they cannot be modified. And they can only be deleted by staff at the library where the borrower message was created. So let's actually get an account up here. And I'm on this screen over here. So I'm going to look up this borrower. I'm logged in currently at, looks like I'm logged in at Linwood. And this is a borrower account for one of our test patrons. If I click on Edit and then scroll down to the section called Library Setup, this is where borrower notes live. And so here's the OPAC note input box and a circulation note input box. And if we put text in here, that's an OPAC note. And if we put text in here in the circulation note field, this is a circulation note. And as soon as we click on save, it becomes part of the borrower's account. So like I said, the circulation notes are clearly visible to staff at the checkout screen. The OPAC notes do not appear on the checkout screen. The circulation notes appear highlighted in red on the checkout page, and they also appear on the details page at the very top of the account. They are duplicated down here in the library use section under circulation note. This is where the circulation notes appear in the library use area. And this is the one spot in the staff interface where the OPAC notes appear. So that whole OPAC note that I typed in, that's where it appears. And this is the only place in the staff interface where the OPAC note appears. We can hop over to the OPAC and I can show you how this looks in the OPAC. So we'll log into this borrower's account. And on the summary page, here we will see message for you. This is an OPAC note. This is the exact text that I put in that box that said OPAC note. So if we want to, so this patron's account was created at Winchester. Their home library is Linwood. I'm logged in as Linwood. Let's change us up to, let's say, Corning. Any staff member at any library that sees the edit button on a patron account has the ability to go in and edit the borrower notes. So we can add text here. We can say this is an addition to a borrower OPAC note. And we can just take out that first part of what we put in here, so we can edit these, we can add to them, or we can just flat out, I'm going to delete the circulation note. As soon as I click save, that's what the note is on this account. So the circulation note, the staff only note that I put there, is gone. If I go over to details and look back at the OPAC note, you can see that that first sentence that I put in there is gone. And the addition that I put on the end is there. And if we go back over to the OPAC and reload the summary page, we'll see that the message has changed here too. So any staff member that has the ability to edit accounts can create OPAC notes and circulation notes. They can modify OPAC notes and circulation notes. They can add to those notes, or they can just flat out delete them. There are no restrictions on what can happen to a OPAC note or a circulation note once it's been created. Anybody with edit permission can modify them. So now let's go in here and take a look at borrower messages. These are different than notes. So the way you add a message is we can add them from any tab in the borrower account where we've got the toolbar. You'll see this add message button. If we look at, I think it's circulation history, we've got the add message button. If you look at details, we've got the add message button. If you look at accounting, we've got the add message button. Any tab over here that gives you the patron toolbar is going to have the add message button. Additionally, on the checkout page, you've got this messages area over here to the right of the checkout block. That's got a link in it that says add new message. The way these work is exactly the same whether you click on this one or that one. When you click on it, it pops up a modal window and it gives you some options. And it's the same whether you click here or whether you click here or whether you're on the details page and you click on the add message button here. This pop-up window is the same every place that it appears. And you've got some options here. There's add message for and predefined notes. And we're going to talk about predefined notes at the very end. So add message for is where you get the option between leaving a staff message or an OPAC message. So if we choose to leave a staff message, staff internal message, I'm just going to type something in there and click on save. And now we've got a staff message on that account. If we do the same thing and choose OPAC message, now we've got one of each. We've got a staff message on this account and we've got an OPAC message on this account. And this is the way they look on the details page, and this is the way they look on the checkout page. So they will automatically, by default, give you the date that the message is created. They will include the library where the borrower, where the staff member is logged in, and they will include the full name of the account that was used when the message was created. So there's something here, you'll notice there's a delete button. There is not an edit button, because once these are created, they cannot be modified. So if you type something in and you've made a mistake and you want to correct it, the only thing you can really do is click on delete and then redo the whole message correctly. The staff messages are highlighted in red. The OPAC messages are not highlighted, they just appear in black. So let's go back over here to the OPAC and refresh the summary page. And here we've got that message that we put in as a message. So this one down here is the OPAC note, and this one up here that's bolded in big black text, this one is the OPAC message. So currently I created these when I'm logged in at Linwood Community Library. If I switch now to Northeast Kansas Library System, go back to the same patron, you will see those delete buttons are gone. So staff at Linwood Community, logged in at Linwood Community Library, created the message. Only staff logged in at Linwood Community Library can delete the message. That is the big difference there between borrower notes and borrower messages, is who can delete them and where they appear on the screen are really the big differences. So I said that I was going to talk about one thing that I skipped over, and that is add messages, these predefined messages. So there is a drop-down menu here that allows me to select from a drop-down a pre-written message. So the only one that's currently available at all libraries currently is this need to check patron's ID. So if you choose that from the drop-down and make it a staff internal message and click on save, all of that stuff that was in the message gets typed in automatically without any staff members need to sit there and type that all in. I've got a couple of messages that I've set up for use at Neckols just as tests. So this one, update patron's name, and another one here. This is just an example created for testing. So all I have to do is click on add message, choose the message I want from the drop-down, click on the button and add it, and it immediately adds it. If you click on one and then go back and click on another, it wipes out that first message from the box. But the important thing to know is you can also add more information here. This is where you can add more information. You can type anything you want after the predefined message is inserted into the pop-up. But these are just some examples. So the reason I'm bringing this up is if you have a message that you need to type into a patron's account over and over again, a standardized message, like something like this patron always wants a receipt, or this patron never wants a receipt, we could create a predefined message to add to the drop-down list, and it could be something specific to your library only. I would just need to be told what predefined message you want to have added to that list of predefined messages in the drop-down. There is a limitation on the predefined messages. They can be no longer than 200 characters. So it's a little bit bigger than an old-fashioned tweet. You can have up to 200 characters. Anything longer than that, I can't put into a predefined message. But if you're at a library where you have a message that you put into an account over and over and over again, that's a quick way to get those messages into people's accounts, is to set them up as predefined messages. So again, this has been an overview of notes and messages in NextSearch Catalog. And if you have any questions, please contact us at nexthelp@nechols.org. Thanks for your attention.